by side, I mean, JoJo has a loss and he has a draw. His one loss was to Gary Russell Jr. Not a bad name to lose to. Not like he lost to a bum. And JoJo's, this is going to be his high. He's now fighting at lightweight, but a large portion of his career was lighter weight classes. So kind of interesting. I think that, you know, especially when we start looking at his age, being 29 years old, makes sense. Haney's still 23 years old. Looking at size, though, this is where things get interesting. Haney's going to have 3 inches taller than him, and the reach advantage is huge here. I do like the fact that JoJo is a southpaw, though. That could be interesting. Now, neither one of these guys, when you look at in terms of wins and KO percentages, neither one of them have a sparkling KO percentage. They're just not big KO guys. Haney had some moments in his very young career, early career, some good, you know, tomato cans he knocked out. JoJo hasn't really been knocking guys out. In terms of game plan now, how would I go about it if I was either guy? If I'm JoJo, I don't know if it's a chip on his shoulder or if he just kind of got this I'm there to hurt you kind of attitude, like I'm a bad dude to be fighting against. And I like that about him. I like the fact that he doesn't seem, he's been in the ring with some good fighters. Devin, you know, Farmer in particular, great win there. I mean, he's fought some good guys. He's been in some bright lights. And I think that is going to help JoJo in this fight. I don't think he's going to be nervous. And I don't think he's going to be worried about getting hit by Haney, which is a good thing. If this was Tank, totally different story. But JoJo, I don't think is going to be afraid to engage. And that means he could make Haney uncomfortable. It could happen. So I love that he's willing to take this fight. I think he's shown that, you know, he's ready for it. I think he's absolutely ready for it. The big thing with JoJo is that reach advantage for Devin Haney is huge. I mean, that's a huge reach advantage. And I want to tell you why in a minute when I go to talking about Haney. That's a big reach advantage. You want to be on the inside if you're JoJo. Volume's going to be a big thing here. Don't worry about getting hit. Just get on the inside and do work. That would be my kind of general thing to JoJo. Rough him up. Make him uncomfortable. And we saw that. We saw that with Linares. Linares snuck in that very sneaky hand, that right hand on him. And what happened to Haney's legs? They went like jelly. Remember when he's walking back to his corner and his legs are doing a little dance still? There's question of Haney's chin. I don't know how much you can actually question Haney's chin. He got hit very clean and was not expecting and right on the button. That would be a bad idea to be on the inside if you're Haney. Now I'm going to talk about what I would do if I'm Haney, and this is really kind of obvious. And that is, Haney looked like an absolutely fantastic boxer when he was boxing on the outside against Jorge Linares. He looked phenomenally good. His jab is the best jab in the lightweight division. And when he doubles it up, it's even better. With this reach advantage he has over JoJo, it makes a lot of sense to work that jab. Stay on the outside. The first half of the Linares fight is an absolute perfect blueprint of what he should try to do against JoJo. But this is the problem with Devin Haney. I don't know who it was. And if it was his dad, if it was his ego, someone made the decision, you know what? Go in there against Linares and stop him. And start fighting on more mid to close range. And that's when his legs did the dance. And if he does that against JoJo, it's going to be a bad idea. And like I said, JoJo's not the hardest hitting guy, but he's there to scrap. He's there to make it an ugly fight. He's not there to try to outbox Haney and do this like, oh, I'm going to sit there and let you jab. Now I'm going to jab. That's not how this is going to be playing out. It's not at all how JoJo wants this fight. JoJo's like, I want to be on the inside. I want to throw a lot of volume at you. I want you to be up against the ropes in the corners. I want you to be absolutely struggling to breathe in this fight. I'm going to work your body, and then I'm going to come upstairs. And I'm just going to absolutely frustrate you this whole fight. Haney, if he decides to take that bait and get his ego going and try to get on the inside and try to get the stoppage when it's not there, because we've already established Haney's power, either it hasn't come in or he just doesn't have it, he's going to be met with a very solid puncher and very solid boxer in JoJo Diaz. This is one of those fights where it's like, when I first heard, I'm like, oh, well, Devin Haney should win this fight, right? It's kind of like the reaction I had when I heard, oh, Teofimo Lopez is fighting George Kambosos. Yeah, Teo should win this fight. Or when I heard initially, oh, yeah, Mikey Garcia is going in against this no-name guy. Never heard of this guy. Oh, Mikey Garcia should easily win this fight. Kind of like when I first heard like AJ versus Usyk. I'm like, oh, well, AJ should probably win this fight. This has been a year of upsets. And not to mention, Oscar Valdez shouldn't have won his fight. That was a fight that no one saw coming. That should have been an easy fight. Like this has been a crazy year. So don't count out JoJo in this fight. It should be fun. It should be an interesting fight overall. Devin Haney needs to go in there, in my opinion, and just box. The final prediction, I have to lean towards Devin Haney winning. It's going to be interesting to see what game plan he implements. If he's smart and stays on the outside, I think he's going to win by unanimous decision.